Hi, welcome to the Listen Up Girl podcast, your daily LGBTQ plus news podcast. I'm Zach Randles-Friedman, and today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, year day 9 of Pride Month, and today we're looking at the quieter, sharper stuff, the studies, the statements, and the moments that tell you exactly where we stand. On deck today, new research on the kind of gay candidate voters will actually pull the lever for, a Republican candidate who would rather attack Pride than back down from it, a poll on what Americans are really worried about, Vivian Wilson's second masterclass in walking away, and we have several other stories we're going to get into. But first, voters like gay candidates until they look or sound gay. We start with a study that says the quiet part out loud. Researchers at Northwestern, led by the political scientist Martin Navarro, ran experiments with nearly 2,600 people. Participants rated hypothetical congressional candidates from their own party based on a headshot and a short audio clip. The researchers then quietly adjusted two things separately, whether the candidate was gay and whether the candidate looked or sounded gender nonconforming, softening facial features, raising the pitch of the voice. The finding? American voters have largely stopped penalizing candidates for simply being gay, at least on the Democratic side, but they still penalize candidates who read as gender nonconforming by around about 7 points, and that penalty showed up across both parties. As the researcher put it, on the left, the bias has shifted from don't be gay to don't look or sound gay. So let's sit with that. The closet didn't disappear, it just got a dress code, and the people enforcing it quietly are often the ones who'd swear by their allies. Next, a candidate double downs on Anti-Pride Month. From data to a man who is proudly the data. Jacob Hayden McCormick, a Republican candidate in Connecticut, ran on what he himself branded as Anti-Pride Month message. When the backlash came, it came from both sides of the aisle. He didn't walk it back. He doubled down and reportedly dismissed Republican criticizing him as a simply being weak. This is the through line of Pride 2026. We watch governors invent fake holidays and congressmen post and delete. McCormick is just the version of who refuses to hit the delete button. He's betting that open hostility to a celebration of LGBTQ plus people is a winning platform. The good news buried here, the condemnation was bipartisan. Even in this climate, Anti-Pride Month was a bridge too far for a lot of their own party. That tells you something about where the floor actually is. Next story is a new poll on what Americans actually care about. So what brings us to a poll worth keeping in your back pocket? New polling finds that Americans are far more concerned about everyday issues, the cost of living, inflation, the economy, gas prices, than they are about restricting transgender people's rights. The culture war that dominates so much of airtime and so many campaign ads simply isn't the thing keeping people up at night. Why does this matter? Because the relentless focus on trans Americans isn't coming from groundswell of public demand. It's a choice made by politicians who'd rather look at trans teenagers than look at their own grocery bill. When the people pushing the panic are louder than the people who actually feel it, that's not a movement, that's a strategy, and strategies can be beaten. I really don't think anybody other than the select few people in our government are sitting there worried about trans people at nighttime. They're worried about the war that's continuing to push the gas prices up, our grocery bills, how much beef is. I can't believe I just ordered a skirt steak, and I cannot believe how much I paid for it. That's what people are worried about. People are worried about their grocery bills. They're not worried about a teen trans person at all. Next, Vivian Wilson walks away. Now for the moment everybody replayed this week. Vivian Wilson, the 22-year-old model, trans advocate, and estranged daughter of the billionaire Elon Musk, was on the red carpet at an event in Spain celebrating the 40th anniversary of the brand Designal. A reporter gesturing to her said, "Your father, the best, no?" Wilson paused, asked him to repeat it, then said, "Okay," turned away and walked away. That's it. No speech, no clapback for the cameras, just a clean exit. And it landed harder than any monologue could have. Wilson has built her own name this Pride season, fronting a savage ex-affinity campaign with GLAAD, while her father has repeatedly dead-named and misgendered her in public. So when a stranger tried to hand her a compliment about him, she gave him exactly the amount of energy it deserved. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do to someone is nothing at all. I've seen that clip and I love that she did that. Next, Cara Delevingne claims the word. Staying in the world of famous faces, Cara Delevingne is done letting people define her. In a recent interview, the model and actress says she was now very happy to call herself a lesbian. After years of having that label policed by other people, you know the routine. She's not gay, she's pansexual, but she's dated men. Her answer is essentially yes, and I'm a lesbian now. What made it resonate was her honesty about why it took so long. She named her own entire internalized homophobia and said the word herself was something she didn't want to say or admit. And she credited younger queer people for showing her how freeing it can be just to claim it. It's a small thing and a huge thing all at once. Labels aren't a cage. When you choose them yourself, they're a home. Next, Russell T. Davies questions his life's work. So this one is heavier and it's worth hearing fully. Russell T. Davies, the man behind Queer as Folk, It's a Sin, and the modern Doctor Who, gave an interview about his new show, and he said there's something that stopped a lot of people. After decades of fighting to make queer people more visible in media, he said, quote, now I look at myself and I'm an idiot. His point wasn't about being out. It was about the visibility. The whole thing, the whole movement, it's being weaponized against very people it's meant to protect. He pointed to the rise of the right and the way hostility online keeps bleeding into the real world. He said he's meeting trans people who live in terror. I don't fully agree with him, and I don't think he fully agrees with himself, but that's what makes it honest. Visibility has never finished the line. It was the door. The fight was always about what we do once everyone can see us, and we're in the middle of the fight right. Our next story that we end with is the Witches of Portland. So with people doing something about it. As the Orange Convicted Felons Administration keeps targeting trans Americans, a lot of trans people and their families have been relocating to safer states. And Portland, Oregon, with its strong legal protection, has become a landing place. Waiting for them is an unexpected welcome committee, the city's queer spiritual community. A 65-year-old organizer named Stella Morris, who describes herself gloriously as the feminine dyke witch, works for a nonprofit called Queer Magic to assemble welcome bags for newcomers. Inside knitted hats, transit cards, a city map, a book of resources, and small gifts handmade by local queer artists. Practical things made with intention. Mars called it meeting the community's needs from a mutual aid ethos. I call it exactly what Pride is supposed to be about. When the system fails, chosen family steps in, sometimes with paperwork, sometimes with a spell, and sometimes with a knitted hat and a note that says, you're home now. That's magic, and that's the whole thing. I love that little story. So that's our stories for today on Tuesday. I want to thank you for listening on day 9 of Pride. News stories I'm bringing you every single day, all month long, never a repeat. If today's episode gave you something, follow the show, share it, give us a rating, because the more ratings you give, the more people that will hear the show. And I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay loud, stay proud, and take care of each other. I'm Zach Randles, and this is Listen Up, Girl.